Welcome to the NAO show. We are breaking down your lineups this week. We're going to move from 10 to 6 in this show, and we're going to figure out how the FNG stands up against everybody else. Y'all know me. I got Mike and Marky Mark here. How you guys doing?
Great.
I'm very excited to keep the tradition going of the ranking show because it went so well last year.
Yeah,
let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Nothing bad came from the ranking show, right? Not one thing. Not even a trade, right?
Yeah. A couple of people dug in and decided not to trade after the ranking show.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Marky Mark, kick us off there, boss.
Yeah, we did like a expert consensus kind of thing where we took we took 4 sites, plugged in all the rosters. We took the data that came out and we ranked everybody. We did it in a fair way where we just assigned everybody a point score, and it was like golf where the lowest score was 1 and so on. And we got 1 through 10 for redraft and 1 through 10 for dynasty. We're going to give out 6 through 10 tonight. Like Sean said, we put them into Fantasy Pros, Dynasty Nerds, Keep, Trade, Cut, and Rate My Lineup, which was a pretty cool thing that Mike found on a chat site for Dynasty. And it was really a lot of information. Maybe we'll share that with you guys after we're done with the 2 shows here. So that's what we did. Without further ado, we'll get right into it, and I'll give you the number 10, which is a consensus in redraft and in dynasty. The number 10.
Who is the lowest?
FNG. Freaking new guy. Number 10. So, yeah, he had a really bad score. He was 1 point away from being a unanimous. But 40 points was a perfect score in each, and he got 40 and 39. So yeah, he was not good. So yeah, I'll give him a little bit of a break because he took over a roster. The roster had some age to it, and it was good. It was built for a year basically, but coming into this next year's, it wasn't looking too good. I think the big thing that killed him was the Henry trade. We haven't talked about the Henry trade a lot. We've heard a lot of whining about not talking about the Henry trade.
Swamp donkey. Go ahead.
Yeah, donkey dick or whatever it is. So we'll go over that real quick. We had Derrick Henry that was traded for 2 2022 first rounders, which are both likely low picks because it's Steele and Underdogs picks.
They're going to be late first rounders.
They're probably going to be late first rounders. He got a 2021 second rounder, which he turned into Elijah Moore, a 2021 third rounder, which he turned into Zach Wilson.
Elijah Moore, but
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Moore is a good player. He definitely did well there. My biggest problem with the trade is he didn't get a starting running back.
Whoa. Henderson's not starting?
Le'Veon Bell's not starting?
Le'Veon Bell's not starting?
Newsflash. Maybe he's the last to know. Maybe we're breaking news to Ty Brosion
on the
here.
NAO show tonight.
Yeah, Republica Jad is learning something tonight. But yeah, he did not get a starting running back. And really the difference in this trade was kind of the numbers I ran, if you did it just by the players he got, would have been Cortland Sutton. I mean, that's a top 10 wide receiver, right? So
he's good. He's really good.
Yeah, yeah. Whoever owns him is a genius. But yeah, you got to get back a starting running back if you're giving up a Derrick Henry. You at least got to get he had Ricky's got David Montgomery. He probably should have gotten him back. Chris Carson wouldn't have been as good. I mean, he'd be a good one, but he wouldn't be a good dynasty guy to get back. So he should have been looking at Monty, getting him back. And the fact that he didn't really kills his roster, because now no Derrick Henry, nobody taking his place. His running back is putrid. What do you guys think?
I think if you have the magic running back depth, you can make a move like this. And obviously, he just doesn't have it. It's a tough move to make.
Yeah,
I get it. I get moving Henry. I think I would have moved him too, but I would have tried to get something back that I could at least depend on that was getting the starting snaps. You know what I mean?
yeah. Any thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, I agree. I think you look across all the scores and from all the sites that we use for these rankings, and that's the obvious piece that jumps out is, and of course, the lineups as they sit now probably aren't going to be what they are, but I'm not sure what he's going to do to replace Henderson and Le'Veon Bell in those starting spots. And I guess you could say, dynasty strategy, he's got some firsts next year, but like we talked about, they're late firsts. So,
yeah.
He's got some work to do. Yeah.
Sleeper doesn't even have a projection of what Le'Veon Bell is going to do in week 1, just so we know.
Is he on? I'm serious question. Is he on a team? Like, is he signed to a team?
I was going to say the projection
I don't
is
think he's signed with Kansas City yet.
He's going to be fishing. Yeah, I think it was a perfect time to move Henry. I like the fact that he put him up and he moved him, because you got to walk that fine line in dynasty of trading a guy when he's still, on top, before the decline, while he still has the value, but to not get another starting running back, that was not good for FNG there. So I like the fact that he moved him. I think it was a perfect time to do it. He just didn't he was one piece short. I think he was one piece short.
I got that piece for you, FNG. I got Naheem Hines just sitting on my bench. He could slide right in there, At least he might get you points. He is on a team.
He is on a team.
He is on a team.
That is a 3 steps above what you got going on right now.
Here's a fun fact about Le'Veon Bell I just heard about today.
Okay.
He and I are projected the same points week 1.
I think you can beat him. I really do. I think you can beat him. I have faith in you, Mike. Yeah, if I had his, okay, so you look at his starting lineup, he's got some good guys. All of them have a lot of age except for Jackson. Lamar Jackson's a good starting quarterback for him, but you got Thielen, you got Robinson, you got Kelsey, probably another year or two, and then you're looking to replace those guys. So if I was FNG, I'd be looking to trade those guys. I'd probably wait until someone was really needy, had an injury, was trying to hang in the playoff hunt. I'd be trying to trade those guys. But if it was my team, I'd be looking to trade Jackson, Thielen, Robinson, Kelsey. Those are his best pieces that he has. And I don't know how far it's going to get him this season. What do you guys think about those guys and anybody else on his roster? Because it just doesn't look very deep to me.
Thielen, last year, even with Justin Jefferson, put 1,000 yards up on the board, and he got some good touchdowns.
A lot of touchdowns. Yeah.
He would come from with a really good price tag. He can get a piece and some picks for Thielen, I think.
Yeah.
I think somebody's going to definitely pay for Thielen if he puts him out there. I think keeping Kelsey, you could go either way on that one, but I think after you traded Henry for what you did, Kelsey should have been the next straight up on the trade block and moving him pretty hard, because I don't know if he knows this, but he has the tight end 3 on the bench in Logan Thomas.
Yeah.
The tight end 3, I've heard.
Mike, he was going to flex him in, okay? He needs both of them.
I guess you could, flex him in, yeah.
I think you've been drinking Evan's Kool-Aid, man. Yeah.
All right, Mikey Mark, let's go to 9.
Well, I will. Last thing I was going to say, though, about FNG is that he needs to be the waiver wire king. I think he's going to be sitting there in 10th. He's going to have that first waiver priority. He's got to churn that roster, man. He needs to pick up anybody that looks like they can do a little bit of something over some of the guys that he's got.
And if you don't, FNG, there's gonna be 9 other managers putting their freaking waivers in to pick
We'll
him
put
up.
him in. We may not get him. We'll put him in. But yeah, he needs to be churning that roster, man. So he needs to be
One
the
thing
waiver
about
wire
this
king.
league is we are all hawks about that waiver wire. That is a real thing.
Yeah, Sean's putting them in usually early. All right, number 9, we have Silly Dilly. So Dylan was 9th in redraft and 8th in dynasty. So what I see on Dylan's roster is some hope. I see hope there. At running back, he's got Rojo, ATN, Damian Harris, who Sean and I made a bet on, but we haven't come to terms yet. I bet that Damian Harris is going to be an RB2 this year, which is 24th or better. We're going to bet. Sean said no, so we got to come up with the terms for the bet. But yeah, he's got Rojo, ATN, Damian Harris. He's got Pollard as probably the best handcuff in the league. What do you guys think about his running backs there? I think he's good there. Maybe not the best depth, but what do you guys think?
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I think you kind of nailed it. He improved quite a bit. I think not just running backs, but I think Silly had, for where he was positioned, I think he had one of the better drafts of all of us, actually.
Yeah.
So I think that helped him a ton. He made every right move that he probably should have during the draft. You know, we debated about Pitts the whole time, but I think he made the right moves for what he needed.
Yep.
But yeah, I think his running backs are pretty good. I think if you move to like wide receiver and stuff, then, you start to get a little question marky, but I think the running backs, he nailed those. Yeah.
I think Robbie Anderson could have a good year with a better quarterback play. I know the quarterback is coming from the Jets in Donald, but I think Sam Donald is going to do fine with Joe
Brady?
Yeah. In Carolina. It was killing me. And
he's LSU. You should know that.
I know that's what was killing me. That's what's killing me.
You're killing me.
I've said it on this show before. I loved his draft. I thought his draft was
I did too.
Easy number 1 draft in his position and what was at his spots when he was able to draft. Without giving up much, he got a lot in that draft.
Yeah.
I think he's 9 right now, but he's got great upside. Great upside.
Yeah. Back to running backs, he'll tell you that Eno Benjamin is going to break out. He keeps holding on to hope that Eno Benjamin is going to break out. He may. I mean, they brought in Connor. They got Chase Edmonds. Benjamin didn't do much last year. Maybe he makes a jump this year, especially if one of those guys gets hurt. Maybe he finally jumps into the lineup. At receiver, the interesting thing, he's got Julio Jones, Henry Ruggs, Jerry Jeudy, Devonta Smith. I told him if he trades for Ridley, he'll have the complete set of Alabama wide receivers. And I swear I'd be doing it if I was him. I got to have them all. I want all those Alabama guys, I like Jeudy a lot. Jeudy last year with really bad quarterback play had some really good numbers. There's a lot of hope for Jeudy. I think if they get Rodgers in there, then man, he could really be good. But even with Bridgewater, maybe Jeudy can do a little bit more than he did with Locke, because I've never been a big fan of Locke. So
yeah, I think Bridgewater was a giant upgrade from Locke.
Yeah, the fact that Aguilar left the Raiders and went to Patriots, I think makes Ruggs a good sleeper candidate this year, because I think Ruggs is going to be that deep guy that Aguilar was last year.
He needs a route tree rather than run faster than that guy.
Yeah, you go along.
That guy,
yeah.
Beat him in the 40, and I'll throw it 45 yards.
Very true, very true. I mean, Las Vegas is kind of a mess. And if they were using Ruggs right, maybe he could do a little something, but we'll see what happens there. But I don't know if he kind of jumps into that Aguilar role, then, he had a pretty good rapport going with Carr last year. So maybe Ruggs can be that guy this year. So there's some hope there. He may be a little bit weak at tight end, but I do like the fact that he's got Irv Smith because Kyle Rudolph left Minnesota, and I think Irv Smith can be good this year, being the main guy. It's his third year. That's kind of the magic year for these guys. It finally comes together, and they start doing a little something. I think Irv Smith could be a good guy to watch for him. He needs a real DST though. All he's got on his, we don't talk much about DST, but he's got I keep saying Oakland, the Las Vegas Raiders as his only defense. So someone trade him a defense. I don't think Aaron's got them all anymore. So someone else has got to trade him one.
There might be a couple out there on the wire that he might be able to pick up.
I mean, why? I'm looking at his roster and I'm like, why have you not addressed that? You got to play somebody there. You can't play Las Vegas there, man. You can't count on them, So
the good news for him though is that he has Tom Brady at quarterback for the next 6-7 years.
Yeah,
at least. At least.
Yeah. Well, I think Brady.
Tom Brady. Sorry, I had to say it. My bad.
I think Brady will be good again this year. I think he was a little shaky to start, and then he came on strong at the end. Now that he's got that offense down, I think he'll be good again this year. He doesn't seem to be slowing down yet. So,
all right, we ready to move on to number 8?
We are. That would be the newly named Meat Vessel.
Sorry, not sorry.
It's a little. I have a little bit of a problem with that name there, Mike. I mean, Frank's Beauties was good,
I'll go back to Frank's Beauties. I just needed Ian to feel like he won something again.
I thought you might. I thought you might, but Meat Vessel makes me think of that movie We're the Millers, and the stripper that worked with Jennifer Aniston called Boner Garage. when you put Meat Vessel up there, I was like, that's too much like Boner Garage, man. I don't know.
Is it wrong that I knew exactly where you were going with that reference?
Yeah.
I knew exactly where you were going.
Yeah, so I'm glad to hear you're going to change that back. So, Frank's Beauties, we'll call them Frank's Beauties, finished at 8th in redraft and 9th in dynasty. So, Mikey, I start, looking, I'm running down your lineup there, and I'm going, okay. And then I get down to the flex, and I'm like, okay, I think about, I look at Gordon and OBJ, guys like that down in your flex spot, and I'm thinking, yeah, they need a little bit of help. They need to do a little something different than they did last year, maybe. And so I like a lot of the guys on your roster there, but I'm thinking that you need to shore up that flex spot, the depth just a little bit. That's the first thing that jumps off
every show.
Yeah, we talk about flex
spots. You'll be all right.
We got three flex spots in it. It can make or break you right there. So, you guys tell me what you think when you're looking down the lineup there.
I'll go ahead and go first. I think OBJ just being on the field will be better than last year.
Yeah,
I think that's a hot take. I think OBJ is going to be a solid flex play for you, regardless of who else you got in the flex. But Gordon is my big question for you. What do you think there, Mike?
Yeah, I think, well, like you said, the Beckham injury, I had to make a move because, I was in the playoffs for a bit last year, so I didn't want to just sort of throw the season in. So I had to make the awkward move and get Landry because, it was a decent trade and I could plug Landry in and not have to worry about it. So now I'm in this awkward position of Landry and Beckham, which is disastrous because not only are they old, but they're on the same damn team. So that's going to be fun. But, the flex is definitely why I'm down, that low in these rankings. But, I think Gordon and Beckham and probably Landry are guys that, if they don't get moved, then this year I'm stuck with them for the rest of their careers, really. And, obviously the Broncos drafted Williams pretty high. He'll obviously take, a lot of that Lindsey stuff. but he's probably honestly a better pass catcher and hopefully a better blocker than Lindsey because not pass catcher. Lindsey was actually kind of good, but he could be better on the field than Lindsey and start taking away those touches from Gordon. But it is what it is. I've done this to myself, so I'll sit with it.
Well, Gallup's the other guy. I was blanking on him for a minute there, but you and I both know that Gallup's a really good player because we watch him a lot. He probably needs to go to another team.
Yeah,
so,
I was going to say he's a really good player on a really good offense.
Yeah,
he's a guy that probably won't stick around the old flex spot for very long. But
yeah. But I hate it. He's good, but he's the number 3, and he'll probably be gone next year. And I think that would probably be the best thing for him is to go someplace else. He's a good downfield, good contested catch guy, and he just is playing behind 2 guys that are really good. So it's a tough one.
Yeah, at the end of coming up here soon, Gallup or Cooper, something has to happen with one of them. So
yeah, I think Cooper will stay. I think Gallup's the odd man out because they drafted that Simi Fehoko, and I think he can step right in and take Gallup's spot next year. So I do like Zach Moss on your roster because Buffalo didn't bring anybody in, not even an undrafted free agent.
Yeah, I woke up after the draft and I looked through, and that was one of the things I scanned for was what did Buffalo do?
Yeah.
They brought in Breida.
Yeah, they got
Come
Breida
on,
in.
man.
But Breida hasn't been able to supplant anybody,
Yeah.
Hey, I don't want to hear any of that negativity towards Breida, all right?
Well, who owns Breida, I wonder?
I don't know, but he's got a real dark horse in Breida.
Yeah. I mean, he's had some good moments, but he's never been able to overtake anybody anywhere. And I think maybe he was best in San Francisco and is kind of showing that he's best in their offense and not anybody else's. But I just love the fact that they didn't bring anybody in. I like him better than Singletary. I think the injuries kept him off the field. He had a key fumble in one of the late games last year. Yeah, and I think second year he's going to be in there doing a little bit more than he did if he can stay healthy. He got surgery on his ankle in the off season. I think he'll be back to 100% and ready to go. And I do like him on your roster.
Yeah, they talk a lot about like Josh Allen taking all the red zone touches and stuff from both running backs, but I think that Zach Moss is going to come in. That's sort of what his specialty was last year anyway. He'd have like 3 carries for, like 2 touchdowns and, 3 yards. But, give me those touchdowns. You can have, 20 yards. I don't care.
Yeah, I think he can emerge as the 1A, maybe get about 2/3 of the work in there. I look at your bench and you've got tons of receivers that have all really flashed at certain times, but never have been established as a true, like even number 2 guy,
Those are the bye week fill-ins, and you just have to get it right. And if you get it right,
that's what I'm saying, man. I look at them like certain weeks, all those guys really smash, but then there was 2 or 3 weeks where then,
yeah.
And the other one I like on your taxi squad is Khalil Herbert, because I feel like Chicago's another one that they got Herbert. They didn't get anybody else in there. Montgomery's okay. He's not great. And I feel like Herbert can jump up to that number 2 spot. If Montgomery goes down for any reason, then Herbert, I think, could maybe rise up to that number 1 spot. So I did like that pick in the beginning of the 5th round. I had a 4th round grade on him. So the fact that you got him right there at the beginning of the 5th, I thought was a great pick.
2 things about my taxi squad. First off, I'm going to toot my own horn because that was one hell of a taxi squad that I put together with only 2 picks in the draft, 4th and the 5th round.
Yeah. I'll give
Second off, this is the second year in a row that I've drafted a Herbert in the 5th round, and they're both going to nail. So
I did not think about that. Good information you're sharing with us. Sean, you got any thoughts?
Solid insider.
Any thoughts on Mikey before we move on?
Let's roll.
Okay.
Moving on to the 7.
Yeah, that's going to be Humpty. Swamp Dick. Choose your name.
Swamp Dinky Donk Dick.
Yeah. So we actually took 6th in redraft and 7th in dynasty. So we all know he made a ton of trades. He's got 3 running backs starting for him that were not on his roster. So I'll give him a little bit of props for making some trades. He's got Henry, Montgomery, and Chris Carson. And I think that's a good 1-2-3 punch
Heck
at
yeah.
running back. What do you guys think?
I love that 1-3 punch. I mean, Montgomery's kind of the odd man out. I think Carson's better than Montgomery, but Montgomery has flashes where he's able to freaking be top 5, you know. So if he hits on Montgomery, I think all 3 of those guys are going to be real solid. Henry obviously is good for 2,000 yards, so we don't ever have to worry about him.
Yeah, I like it. I think you talk about all the trades that he made, and you think, did he win this one? Did he win that one? At the end of the day, kind of, no disrespect to our show, but at the end of the day, who cares about the individual trades? The team that he's put together and, that he's going into the season with, I like it a lot. I think from what he was at in the beginning, when he took over the team to what he has now, I think it looks pretty good. I think
Stafford at the Rams is super interesting.
Yeah.
I think his floor is about 18 points a game, but his ceiling could be huge up there, like maybe like 25, 26 ceiling, if not more. I think Stafford is going to have a crazy year this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he had some good fortune with him going there because he already had Cooper Kupp. So he's got that Stafford Cup stack. He's stacking cups, and it could be a good thing. I love the fact that Stafford went there. I've wanted to see what Stafford could do with a better team for a long time. So I'm really excited about Stafford this year. And he's got, Humpty's got some strong starters, and that Stafford Cup stack could be nice,
One thing I don't like about his lineup is Corey Davis, and not because of Corey Davis, because Corey Davis is a fantastic wide receiver, and I would like to have him on my lineup if he was on a different team. I don't like him playing for the Jets because they're very unknown. A lot of people don't know what the heck they're going to do this year. They either could be really good or they could be the Jets, like they have been for the last 2 decades. You know what I mean? Like, Corey Davis is probably by far the biggest question mark on his starting lineup.
I think Silly Dilly needs to go talk to Swamp Dick about some defenses. Yes.
Yeah, he's got some good ones there, man. We all went for that Cleveland Browns defense when did they drop him for Tebow?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
it was Tebow.
They're gonna regret that, man.
They're going
and Sean said something about it, and I was like, "Well, my waiver wire priority is higher than yours, so it doesn't matter." Because I put that in immediately.
Like, ooh, Cleveland, and Mike's like, "I'm putting it in." I'm like, that was nice to know.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I screwed up and I dropped the wrong defense when I dropped Cleveland. I had Cleveland and the Saints, and I dropped Cleveland, and I should have kept them. And damned if Swamp Dick didn't pick up both of them.
Yeah.
He's got Saints and Cleveland on there now. And I mean, I dropped the Saints. When I dropped the Saints, it was because actually, we'll see how it goes. He dropped Denver. So I picked up Denver because I thought the Saints, with all their cap problems, they're going to end up losing some guys on defense. So I kind of felt like they wouldn't be able to keep everybody. They might go back a step. And I thought Denver was going to go up a step. And so I picked them up. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I kind of regret dropping Cleveland. I really do.
Cleveland's going to be solid this year.
Yeah, I think so. So. He's got some high upside guys on his bench too. Michael Carter he picked there, and I think he could emerge as the number one for the Jets. So it could be like he could go kind of 4 deep on the running backs there.
I did that last year. Not a bad little play. I almost made it to the playoffs.
I like that he snagged Gio too.
Yeah.
I think because Gio plays for the Buccaneers.
It's not like we don't have enough running backs.
Yeah.
But
He's
yeah,
got
the
1A,
rumors were like that
once-
Brady went out and got him specifically, so he's going to get some touches at least.
he's got our favorite guy too, Brian Edwards, that we passed around like a
Yeah.
frat house floozy. Marquez Callaway, he's got some good guys there. Gesicki on his bench as a tight end. I like some of the guys he's got. So I think he did a good job overall coming in and making all those trades. So, but let's go on to our number six. Number six. That would be our buddy Sean, the Fresh Prince of El Air.
Yeah.
So
I love that name still.
you are number 7 in redraft and number 6 in dynasty. So, Sean, I love your starting lineup, and you got CEH as your next man up right now, and I kind of look at you like Goofy was last year. Goofy didn't have the most depth, but he had a good starting lineup, and he had very little to no injuries.
No.
Huh?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
No.
Oh, did I jinx you? I'm so sorry, man.
No, you're not.
I'm so sorry.
You take
Well,
it back right now.
it's out there now. It's out there now. But yeah, dude, I mean, the starters you got in there can really do something. Go ahead. You guys talk about it
Go
because
ahead, Mike. I'll let you go first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think you've been pretty aggressive with some trades and stuff, and they have definitely paid off in the form of this starting lineup. And you think back on some of the trades you've made, like sure, we make some fun about the Mixon trade and then and the Deshaun Watson trade, but I think like Mark said, your starting lineup is pretty good. And I think the coolest part is you made that Waddle trade the day of the draft. Obviously, we kind of were hanging out during all that, so I got a little behind the scenes on that thing. I knew how excited you were for that, and then just the absolute clackers to put him in the starting lineup immediately. I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, you were sitting there with no picks, and you did your thing, and you got back up in there and got some good guys. So I thought you did a really good job there. Your depth is a little suspect. I mean, you got Slayton, who's been decent. Terrace Marshall could emerge. We saw what Robbie Anderson did reuniting with his what's the head coach's guy's name? It's not Brady, but it's the other guy. If Marshall reunite, Marshall's reuniting with Brady. So yeah, if he does as well as Robbie Anderson did coming back home, so to speak, he could really emerge this year. I like those two guys, but yeah, you're not the deepest, but you do have a few guys there. Like I said, CEH is on your bench right now, Marshall, Slayton. So we got a few guys there. Anybody else that you wanted to point out, Sean?
I really think Fitzpatrick, Des Fitzpatrick in Tennessee, if they don't go out and get Julio, like I think they probably will, I think Des Fitzpatrick is the fastest person on my taxi to the playing field. I think he's going to see some real good playing time for a guy that I got in the 4th round. I'm really excited.
I saw a report that Julio's highly unlikely to Tennessee. I think you might be safe there.
Yeah. It was switching back and forth between like the Patriots and Tennessee for betting odds anyway.
Yeah, and then he has the gall to say, "Oh, I want to go to a team that's going to win," and then he wants to go to the Patriots.
I heard he wants to play with Cam, which those are two different things. You can't want to play with Cam
the whole year.
You can't want to play with Cam and want to win. You can't do both.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a winning culture. I mean, and they could be back. They did a lot. They made a lot of moves, so they might be back up there this year. They'll be playing a little bit easier schedule too. So, and you mentioned Des Fitzpatrick. I'm going to say I just loved your taxi squad. You got Albert O, who was there last year. Nico Collins, I think, is a good sleeper with Houston. Tommy Tremble, he's a good stash. He may turn into something here.
I got him in the sup.
Yeah, he was on my short list of the in the 6th round supplemental there. Like I said, Fitzpatrick could be he could jump right up there. He's got probably Josh Reynolds to deal with too, but he could be a 3 and maybe the number 2 by next year. And I love that Semi Fehoko. I mean, right now he's probably not going to be doing too much. But man, he's got size and speed, and I think that's why Gallup's going to be gone, because I think they're looking at Simi Fehoko as their number 3 guy that they'll get out there probably next year. So I really like your taxi squad a lot, man.
Appreciate it. Well, that was 10 through 6. Next week, we're going to go 5 to uno numero, and we're going to find out who's the top of this heat. Yeah. You guys got anything else? Last words. Oh,
Crickets.
I got one
Crickets.
last thing.
Crickets.
I got one last thing.
Do
I don't know
tell.
if you guys know what I'm going to say, but Ian, you fucking suck.